The discovery of divine beauty in nature. Chapter 1. Let's glance at the beginning. There are moments when the world seems to hold its breath, so that you have time to notice its beauty. Do you walk down a sleepy morning street and suddenly see how a light mist spreads over the river, how the sun, barely risen above the horizon, paints the houses in warm amber light? And at that moment, everything seems alive. Then the stone beneath your feet, memory carefully preserves such moments. The discovery of divine beauty comes almost effortlessly. Just step outside, breathe in the scent of wet grass. After the rain, hear the chirping of birds in the branches, and no explanations are needed. The world is simply beautiful, and you are a part of that beauty. But as we grow older, we often stop noticing these quiet gifts. It seems that happiness requires loud events, and a simple morning in the forest is too modest a reason for wonder. However, divine beauty does not shout. It waits for us to slow down and truly see. Sometimes, the first step to its discovery is just the desire to pause. Chapter 2. Harmony that cannot be measured for centuries. People have tried to explain what beauty is. They compared it to mathematical proportions, symmetry, musical rhythm. But when you stand by a lake and watch clouds reflected in its surface, you realize no formula can hold that feeling. The harmony of nature lives not in calculations, but in the fact that it needs no improvement. Spring comes exactly when the earth is ready to receive it. The river flows where it must, without hurry or stops. Birds migrate south, not out of whim, but according to an inner, unshakable law. There is no effort in this order. That is its secret. Divine beauty in nature is that it is already complete. There is no point in repainting a sunset or rearranging the stars. They are already in their place, and perhaps that is why, finding ourselves amidst this harmony, we feel peace, because, at least for a moment, we become part of it, not mere observers. Chapter 3. Traces of eternity in different cultures. The world people have seen in nature a reflection of the eternal. For some, it was a gift from gods. For others, a great mother. For still others, a silent teacher. But the meaning was always the same. Behind the beauty of the world lies something greater than chance. In the tropical forests of South America, shamans said every tree holds the memory of rain, and every stream sings the song of the wind. In arid steppes, nomads believed the wind was the breath of the earth itself. In northern lands, people believed the glow of polar nights was a living message from the heavens. Beyond words, in these beliefs, there is something Kamana recognition of nature, not just as a habitat, but as sacred space. People of different eras knew how to see beyond the phenomenon a sign, beyond the landscape a meaning, beyond beauty a source. Chapter 4. Landscapes that speak to the soulsome. Places seem made so that a person can remember their soul. The forest is a space where time flows differently. There is soft half-darkness, the smell of decaying leaves, and a subtle flow of sounds. The rustle of the wind, the crack of a branch, the distant echo of a woodpecker. It seems that silence lives between the trees, and if you hold your breath, you can hear it. The mountains stand above our hurry. Their peaks disappear into clouds, and their slopes keep traces of ancient glaciers and rockfalls. Mountains neither approach nor recede. They simply are, reminding us that the world is bigger and older than ourselves. The sea lives by its own laws. It can be gentle and transparent one moment and dark and stormy the next, but it always remains. Its depth is not just water, but memory of millennia, of storms and calms. The desert speaks to humans in the language of simplicity. Its lines contain nothing superfluous, only sand, wind, and light. And in this simplicity lies extraordinary strength. It reveals the essential, removing everything that distracts. The starry sky is the greatest interlocutor of silence. It speaks without words, but everyone who lifts their eyes to it hears their own answer. Chapter 5. The scientific edge of wonder science does not destroy the beauty of the world. On the contrary, it reveals new layers of it. Look at a snowflake under a microscope, and you will see perfect six-sided symmetry. Look at the cross-section of a tree trunk, and you will see its annual rings, like pages of its biography. Study galaxies and you will discover their spirals resemble patterns in seashells. The deeper science penetrates the world's structure, the clearer it becomes. Beauty is not accidental. It repeats on different scales, like a single melody played by different instruments. Even chaos is not quite chaos. It also has structure, only more complex for perception. And perhaps in this lies the answer. Divine beauty is an order we have. Yet to fully understand, Chapter 6. The journey within discovering the beauty of nature inevitably leads us inward. Standing at the foot of a mountain, we feel its grandeur, and our place in that grandeur. Watching a sunset, we realize it is beautiful not only in the sky, but in what is born in our soul as we watch it. Nature demands nothing, but gives everything. It does not instruct, criticize, or compare it, simply exists. And in this simplicity lies a lesson we rarely learn in everyday life. We may seek beauty in distant lands, but it is always near. Sometimes in a drop of dew on a blade of grass, behind the house. Sometimes in a cloud drifting overhead. And when we begin to see these small miracles, they form a single pattern that very divine beauty. Chapter 7. The unquenchable light the world knows storms, tempests, and earthquakes. But even in destruction, it does not lose its beauty because beauty is not only in form, but in the very force of life. When we learn to see this beauty, life ceases to be just a series of tasks. Morning becomes a gift, rain a music, evening music, quiet fire. We begin to live not in anticipation of holidays, but in the joy of each day. Divine beauty in nature is a light that does not go out, neither in storm nor in darkness. It existed before us and will exist after us. But most importantly, it can ignite within us if we open space for it. And perhaps this is humanity's greatest purpose, to be a bearer of this light, so it never fades from the world. Conclusion: the discovery of divine beauty in nature is not a random encounter, but a quiet return home. We may walk past fields, rivers, and skies for years thinking we seek wonder far away, suddenly realize it has always been nearby in every ray of sunlight, every breath of wind, every breath of the earth. This beauty does not age or disappear. It outlasts times, peoples, cities, empires. And every time someone slows down and looks up at the sky, it comes alive anew. Meeting it, we inevitably change. We begin to cherish silence, to learn to look more attentively, listen more deeply, feel more softly. We cease to be mere witnesses of the world and become its participants. Divine beauty in nature is a quiet light that passes through all living things, does not fade when shared. And perhaps our greatest calling is not only to notice this light, but to carry it within ourselves, so that one day, looking into our eyes, someone else will feel the same thing we once felt standing at the foot of a mountain or under the starry sky.